So welcome to the Node.js package maintenance team meeting for May 12th, 2022. We'll follow our agenda as was outlined in issue number, sorry, I'm just going back to there. Issue number 526. Before we get started, any announcements people would like to share? Okay, if not, I will just share the link. If people can add themselves to the attendees, that would be great. There's the link there. I'm just going to add myself. Okay, so the first thing we had on the agenda is session at Collaborator Summit. So I think we just introduced the idea last time, maybe had a little bit of discussion, but I don't remember us closing on it. Let me see if there's any notes in the issue itself. So I guess the question is, anybody have any thoughts on that? Should we submit a session? People going to be there? What do people think? Guess I don't know. Owen, are you going to be able to make it there? I might have asked this last time, but
let's see. I'm not sure. I know that I managed to squeak my way in onto the virtual track, but I assume is Collaborator Summit in person?
I don't think the planning hasn't been completely finalized yet, so I can't properly answer that. I think we're going to try and make some efforts to like let remote people come in as well, but I don't know all the plans yet.
Yeah, I'm just a virtual, well, pre-recorded virtual attendee at this point.
Right. Okay. But I guess, you know, we could submit a session and in there we could say, but you know, most people will be virtual, so you know, happy to lead this, but it would need to be virtual supported kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
I guess it's like, what would we put on we had some discussions of trying to promote the work and gather people who would be interested, right? So that's sort of one aspect of a session, is just like, you know, what does the working group do? And trying to recruit. The other one is like, is there anything that like a broader audience makes sense in terms of discussion?
I'm not sure where we sit on or stand on showing off some of the work. I mean, I think people always seem pretty up for learning about CI/CD stuff, so not sure if GitHub Actions Matrix or stuff like that we've got going on in parallel.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Any demos or anything that people would want to show off as partially doing that too.
Yeah, just kind of show, don't tell. Be fun. I'm not sure where it stands. I know at some point we talked about it earlier. We were, I guess, still trying to seed it like in an alpha or beta state before kind of opening it up, but you know, I don't know if but if we want, you know, feedback and it doesn't leave the circle, then you know,
Right.
I don't, you know, I suppose the worst case scenario is that feedback hurts our feelings, but you know,
Right.
You know, hopefully we don't let our code identify ourselves, and you know, so I don't know if it's just a chicken before the egg, or we have a dozen people already working on it, but nobody could help out either, but at least we tried, so I don't know. I don't have a big stake in the authorship of it, so I don't really want to force it one way or the other.
Yeah, I guess on that front is really like, do we have volunteers to do some demos or show and tells, that kind of stuff?
Hold on, is it Thursday, Friday? Because the conference is Monday, Tuesday.
I think the conference is Tuesday, Wednesday, and then the summit is collaborator summit's Thursday, Friday.
Okay, 9 to 5 on Thursday and 9 to 12 on Friday. I assume that's local. Yeah. That's Central Time. Okay.
Yeah, it would be awesome.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, local Texas time. Might be hard to carve out the entire day. I assume we'll get like dedicated
sessions. It would be like a scheduled, in theory, like a 1 hour slot or something like that, depending on what all's been requested and stuff like that.
I mean, I couldn't really help until after the 23rd, to be honest, because that's when I have to get my recording in. So that's already a little down with the wire because it's just a month to do it. But I can help out after that and at least show up for moral support.
Right.
The worst case scenario.
Yeah, I guess it really comes down to back to that, like, is there something we want to achieve?
Mm-hmm.
And what should we do there, right? And then who do we have to do it? I've submitted a few other ones, so I don't think submitting one for this myself makes sense. But again, I could do the supporting part, but
I guess we're a shy group.
Go ahead.
We're a shy group.
Yeah, so if it's a non-virtual event, then there's not much I can do.
Right, but I mean, I guess it's like if it say it was going to be virtual, was there something you'd want to demo or do, or like, because we could basically
which day? Well, I'd really like to. So I've been postponing this for too long, but I would really like to write up some blog posts and some promotion for PKJS action.
Right.
I know some Node.js repos started using it, but yeah, it needs to get out into the wider world. Yeah, starting to find the limitations and edge cases of it, but yeah. So we need more of those. So I could definitely do something about that.
Okay, so because like, this is
which day was that again? That's
it's the Thursday and Friday, and this is June, I think 9th and 10th.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so I think like we can open an issue in that repo that basically says interested in doing a session, but it's got to be virtual. And, even if it's just one of the 2 days that works, I think like basically put all the information in terms of what we could or couldn't do. And then, we can see where that lands, right? And
yeah, I think if it can be virtual, then yeah, I could try to do something about it. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so do you want to do a session proposal, or I think we could do a little bit of a here's the quick intro to the what the package maintenance team is, a little bit of marketing. Hey, but that's probably something we could all put together and whoever could deliver, and not too much work. And then if you've got like oh, and now we're going to dive into one of those efforts. Here we go. That would actually make a pretty decent session.
Yeah, I think that can work. Yeah.
Okay. So do you want to make that proposal? And like I said, put in all the constraints that you have. And, I haven't been too involved in the organization, but I'm thinking of looking at that more carefully this next week to see what we can make work or not.
Yeah, definitely. I can write something up, but I need a link.
Yeah. Okay. Let me give you, this is I think I put it in.
Oh, I see. That's in the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I need to create an issue here.
Yeah. Basically you put an issue there with which is a session proposal and you have the,
there's
all the info.
Happy days. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll do that. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Sounds good. And then if anybody else has any other like deep dive topics or anything that they want to tag on, obviously we'll make sure you get enough time for that topic, but then I could see as long as we've got enough, we can, if somebody else wants to volunteer to highlight something else, we can do that too. We'll make a submission, and we'll support virtual. And I know I'm going to be there, and I think Luke and Beth are going to be there as well. So like, should be easy for one of us to have the laptop and Zoom or whatever, if that's how the virtual stuff is happening. Okay, that was issue number 5.2. That's good. The next one was how to accelerate modernization of the ecosystem. I think we talked about this, and this actually might be a good topic for the Collaborator Summit, as a, because like it seems like a good topic with a broader audience. Because I'm not really sure what, do people have thoughts on this? What a next step would be?
Sorry, just catching up.
There's no such thing. It's not possible.
Right, right. Like it's you can kind of see people stick on old stuff, but like, is there something that could actually be done to change that, or is that just it is what it is kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, it's it's not it's not uncommon for open source software to go unmaintained, but really I'm trying to catch up, do they recommend anything, or is it just we've tried this before, right? Like, hey, I guess, I don't know, maybe is it the curse of the project that goes unmaintained means no one's going to be there when like we send out issues to say, hey, do you need help being maintained? And then people want to help, but they're not the owner. Until you get to the owner, you don't really have much impact. And then it's not like we're looking to take these over anyway, right? Other than just be like, hey, we've got documentation, check it out. Maybe that'll help your governance or something. But
I think this was meant to be a little different. It wasn't like, let's try and help unmaintained packages. It was more about like, how do we get people to move off unmaintained things into newer things? Like the request example there is, it's been formally deprecated, which is what we suggest. And it prints those deprecation warnings, but there's still tons of, weekly downloads. So the suggestion was like, maybe there should be an active campaign that says, Instead of using request, you should be using this, or, you know, I think that's kind of where that was coming from.
I think nobody's starting a new project would pick request willingly. I mean, there's obviously a lot of content out, which is the old articles, which are simply due to their nature, because their age, they have higher page rank, which is kind of hard to go there. So producing more content with alternatives is definitely something. But I'm observing one very good example of how request is there, and it's taking a long time to rip it out, and that is the Kubernetes client for JavaScript. It's a lot of work in some cases.
Right.
So it's not like you can go and tell people, you know, you should stop using request. Well, they know the issue to stop using request has been open for well over a year, if not longer.
Right.
And there is ongoing work to do that, but it's just not trivial. So I don't know how much of that is the 20 million downloads. It's also,
that's what I was going to say.
It's also very tricky because in a way we don't know where these downloads are coming from. Right? There will be some of that that's direct, but we don't have visibility into that. So maybe we could try to collect that visibility, like scrape.
We have
NPM.
the dependence tool in package pkg.js that does just that, tries to figure out where the most downloads are coming from. I think for Express, it's like Webpack dev server that appears at the top.
Yeah, but that's a bit so for something like request, it needs to download the list of all the dependents, and I think it then queries, if I remember correctly, the download count, right? So request there must be a better way, but yeah, if there's no better way, then maybe that's like an option. Maybe let's just run it and see and what we get.
Yeah, I think at the time we asked NPM if they could add an API for it, but I don't know. I'm going back like 3 years in my memory now, so I don't know what happened with that.
No, we're just going a year back. 2 years, they didn't happen.
I mean, is it a matter of going through their dependents and sorting by? I see Roy's on the call. I'm not sure if there's because I suppose if there's intended to be an awareness campaign, then kind of heat mapping the biggest draw would have the most impact, or at least let us know, is it like 1 million packages doing it 5 times and that's where 5 million comes from, or is it like 10 packages doing it, or like 4 packages doing it 250,000 times? Because the longer the tail, the longer potential. I guess not dismissing the outreach campaign in general, but maybe a good way to manage our expectations is like, is anything even downloading it that's relevant, that's maintained, what, if it matters, knowing like what the potential reach could be.
Yeah, the Kubernetes client is only 200K of that, so it's not a significant, at least from what I can see here, I think. But it's more of like, I don't think this group can't run around and like say, okay, let's try and fix this or that problem. It's more like, is there anything like as an ecosystem that we could do or think of that, like any one instance, it's more like systematically, is there something that we could change in the ecosystem or advocate that would improve that situation?
Is it just get off request because we don't want to pick winners and losers, other than just say, we're only saying it because it's officially deprecated? Do we go a step further and list alternatives, or we just try to?
I guess I'm just trying to think like, who will be motivated to do things?
So
and sorry,
this may not necessarily. Oh yeah, it may not necessarily be like a direct thing to help that, but I've been pondering that in a lot of cases we just need to make forking easier and maintaining forks easier, and that's probably
Right, that might be like a concrete thing that we
Yeah.
could, right, yeah.
And
I
then-
have
and
to
then-
drop
and
off
then-
because I have another
yeah.
meeting, so I'm gonna, Owen, can you take over as chair?
Sure. Just
Okay.
do the Google Doc stuff.
Yeah, I will make you and sort of lead through the rest of the. I'll make you the host before I go, and I'll yeah, if you can go through the rest of the issues.
All right.
Okay, thank you. Sorry about that, but yeah, Dominic, I like that's a good idea to think about. So things like that, I could see being like would help the overall problem. So talk to you later.
Okay.
I actually have to run too, but I
No,
did
it's just
want
the
to.
two.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about something. It was the first item. I might reach to Michael later to let him know too. But I've been in the panel helping out with the summit before, and usually the summit like suffers from not enough proposals for sessions and everything, rather than the opposite, right? So I would say like let's maybe have a in-person one. Let's propose 2 sessions, right? An in-person and a virtual one. And yeah, the in-person can be more like just presenting the working group like we usually do. Like we've usually done that for the past few years that we had in-person conferences. So it's been a while, but I think it can be a good idea to have at least a half an hour session, like presenting the working group, the initiatives going on, what we've done in the past. And then we can also have the virtual one. So if you can,
Not sure when did you join, but we discussed. I was going to propose a proposal. Maybe we should do 2 separate ones. Yeah, one for the sort of generic intro and one for the deep dive. Yeah, if you want to open up the issue there, I'm more than happy to not open up the issue, and I can open up a separate issue for the more of a deeper dive into PKGJS action.
sounds
Yeah,
good.
that can work.
Cool.
Because,
Okay, I have to
yeah, I
drop
can only
too.
do virtual. All right.
See ya.
Later.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Okay.
All right. Is there anything that you or I are involved in specifically in any of the issues?
I don't think so. Let me check it out. I don't think so. Let me just, well, there's a couple things on here, or at least one thing on here regarding the team stuff. I don't know if we've arrived on a final consensus yet, or if we're ready to make action without anybody else.
I think they merged the updated members list, so it's just a matter of making sure that I guess the team in the organization also has the people who were moved to emeritus, I guess, are also removed from the team, and I can go through that and update that if I have access to do that. Otherwise, I will. Yeah, I can just go and verify who is on the list and who shouldn't be on the list and post
Okay, so
a
basically
comment about that.
just,
Yeah. And then I guess we can close that issue. Yeah, that was one of mine actually. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I'll go through that list. Not sure if
okay,
I'll
so
do that
basically just
today.
syncing that list in the comment to the actual list in the repository or the
Yeah.
settings. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Okay. Just make a note of that. Oh, I'm on the wrong. I think I'm on the wrong document. That's why. There we go. Okay. There we go. Okay. I was distracted. Okay. Sorry. So for the, okay. Yeah. So for this one, sync the list. List from or to settings. And then for the previous agenda item, you would offer to submit a proposal to Collaborator Summit, correct?
Yeah, and I guess I'll ping Rui as well to see. Well, we kind of discussed that he might open a generic one for the in-person one. So yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, I got those bits in there. Then that's good. So then I guess the only other, so then the last two, just to make sure we check them off for any potential action items. So status update, and so 458 status update, next steps on PKGS create. I think this was just testing and, oh no, sorry, this is create.
Yeah, so before we started the call, we added one more person to the team. So I don't know. I probably have access to add them to the NPM org, but I'll wait until somebody asks me on that.
Okay, so we have we had an offer for new maintainer or collaborator.
Yeah, Zach asked for that, so Zach Schuster. So
okay, I see.
If there was an issue.
Okay, cool. I see. Mike, looks like Michael's in the process of writing that. Cool. All right. So we got collab expel today. Okay. Alrighty, and then the last one suggested list of module 413 suggested list of modules to get support info into. Do we have a, doesn't look like there's much of a list in the issue, unfortunately. I know that looks like Michael
yeah,
I think
we've just been shifting this over and over the time.
Yes, maybe the call to action would be, or I could comment that, do we want to define a list like an like, do we want to use, because I know we had a list of top packages we wanted to provide some of our resources to. Remember, we had that survey a while ago. Would they maybe be good candidates to add a list here, just so we could at least, might be half like just communication and
I'm not
evangelism.
sure. We probably need to get an agreement on, like, before we suggest that they add something. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm just wondering what we want to do with this issue. If it would help to come up with a concrete list, then maybe everybody can take one, open an issue and say, hey, if you need support, just letting you know the support field exists. And we could maybe source it from some of the top packages that could maybe benefit from it. Otherwise, you know, it seems like it's just more of a reminder, but it seems like the issue is implying suggested list of modules. I just don't see a list. So should we create one, like a 610 or something like that?
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah. Okay, let me, see if there's worth commenting. Okay, I'll make a note to update. Should we curate a list of packages for us to do outreach to potentially sourced packages we offered to, where is that issue? I know we had a list from that survey, so maybe that's just, we can at least just start with that and see if that helps anything. I forget what the name of the issue was, so I can link it properly here. Key packages. Oh, okay. Hi, here it is. I think. I don't think it has a list though. Oh, pilot packages. There it is. There we go. Okay. Paste that link there. Request is there, one of the ones that we want to move off of, but okay. Okay, so the back over here, identify impact packages. I'll put a comment in the ticket for that. All right. Actually, I'll just do that right now. And then I think that's at least something, you know, if it gets a bite, good. If not, then, you know, I mean, I guess it could just stay as kind of like a note to self, but
Yeah.
Give it the old college try, as they say. Okay, well, I got that in there then. We'll see if anybody comes for that. All right, well, I think that covers it, unless there is anything else on your mind at all.
No, not really.
Okay, cool. Well then, well, looks like we're able to get a little bit done, so that's good. Just you know, running the business, as they say. So, all right. Well, I guess that concludes our session for this meeting of the package maintenance working group team. So, thanks for all those who participated and attended. We will catch up with you all again in about 2 weeks. So. Have a good one and talk to you then. Thanks.